I want to tell you a story. A story about how the smallest actions, things so simple we often ignore them, can change your life. It begins with something you've probably done 1,000 times. Making your bed. Now you might laugh. Making my bed? That's the big life lesson. But stay with me. Admiral William McRaven, a Navy SEAL who fought in Iraq and Afghanistan, once said, "If you want to change the world, start by making your bed." Why? Because it's the first victory of the day. You wake up, complete one task, and already you're moving forward. And if the rest of your day falls apart, you come home to a bed that's made. A small reminder that tomorrow you can begin again. But McRaven's lessons go far beyond bed sheets. During his SEAL training, if someone failed at the simplest task, like folding their uniform or shining their boots, they were punished with what's called a sugar cookie. Imagine plunging into the freezing Pacific Ocean, then rolling across hot sand until every inch of you is covered. Wet, cold, miserable. Life, he realized, is full of sugar cookies. Sometimes you'll do everything right and still get knocked down. And in those moments, you have two choices: complain or keep moving. Another lesson: never underestimate the people around you. McRaven once had a parachute accident that shattered his pelvis. He could barely move. Recovery seemed impossible, but his wife stood by him every single day, pushing him, reminding him that he was stronger than he felt. Without her, he admits, he would have given up. And that's when he learned no one succeeds alone. We all need someone in our corner. And then, there's the danger of judging by appearances. McRaven once met a man named Tom Norris. He was small, balding, didn't look like a warrior at all. But behind that modest frame was a Medal of Honor recipient, a man who had risked his life to save his brothers in Vietnam. The lesson? Strength isn't always loud. Heroes don't always look like heroes. Don't ever judge a book by its cover. But what about failure? In SEAL training, McRaven was part of a swim team that always came in last. And because they failed, they were punished with endless hours of extra exercises known as the circus. Exhausting, brutal, designed to make you quit. But something unexpected happened. Those punishments made them tougher, stronger. By graduation, that same loser team became one of the best. Failure, McRaven realized, isn't the end. It's the training ground for greatness. And sometimes, greatness requires risk. In Iraq, McRaven faced a choice: Hostages were held inside a compound guarded by the enemy. His only chance of saving them was a daylight raid. A move so risky, most leaders wouldn't dare, but he knew waiting meant death for the hostages, so he gave the order. The raid worked. The hostages lived. The point? Playing safe is comfortable, but real change, real victory, often demands boldness. Now, let's talk about fear. One night, McRaven had to swim 4 miles. In the dark, in waters filled with sharks, reports of hammerheads, tiger sharks, even great whites. Fear was natural. Quitting was tempting, but he kept swimming. And he learned, courage doesn't mean you're not afraid. Courage means moving forward despite the fear. And in the darkest moments, when you feel like giving up, remember this: hope is contagious. During the infamous Hell Week, trainees were cold, wet, and broken. One man finally stood up to quit. But just then, another trainee began singing. His voice was weak at first. But soon others joined. Within minutes, the entire group was singing in the mud. That single spark of hope kept them all alive through the night. Sometimes, all it takes is one voice to give others the strength to carry on. And perhaps the most powerful lesson of all: never, ever give up. McRaven met a soldier named Adam Bates who lost both legs to a landmine in Afghanistan. He was covered in burns, tubes running through him. By all accounts, he had every reason to surrender to despair. But Adam looked at McRaven, raised his hands, and signed, "I'll be okay." That spirit, the refusal to quit, is what makes the impossible possible. So, what can we take away from Admiral McRaven's stories? Make your bed. Find strength in others. Don't judge by appearances. Accept that life isn't fair. Learn from failure. Take risks. Be brave. Be the voice of hope. And above all, never, ever give up. Because in the end, life isn't about avoiding hardship. It's about facing it head on, with courage, with resilience, and with hope. Thank you